Hello, friends. Today is July 7th, which means it is my birthday. So, just came back from dinner and had a ice cream for dessert. It's a Korean ice cream. So, it's like these popsicle sticks, but it has red beans, which sounds really ridiculous. But if you ever have a chance to visit the Korean market, Korea has some wild popsicles that are really good. So I hope you try it at least once in your lifetime. But anyway, I my off days are usually Wednesdays and Thursdays. So today wanted to go surfing, but my wife has to use the car in the morning on Sundays. So went surfing yesterday, and today was just the regular coaching clients day, and yeah, but got a wonderful card from my wife yesterday night, and spent so much time today responding to texts and your all the warm wishes for celebrating my birthday, which is, to be completely honest with you, something I dreamed of when I was a kid because I always felt like so unpopular and undesired. Um, which is something I talked about with my wife today as well. I was just remembering some things about my earlier life, and but anyway, that's all like a thing of the past, right? That's nothing to do with right now. And right now, I feel very loved, and I am in celebration of my life. I've been alive for 37 consecutive years. Not a single day I was dead. When I think of life like that, it's always kind of mind blowing to be this alive for this long, this consecutively. It's just kind of mind blowing. Anyway, this video today is actually less about me because I want to spend a little time talking about my mom. Why? Because she's the one who gave me birth and made all of this in my life possible. And I have kind of a three-stage relationship with my mom, right? The first stage was me just kind of being the good boy. And my sister has a very externally visible, rampant ADHD. And you know how first children usually get more expectations than the second one? So my sister was kind of the wild and rambunctious child who just could not be submitted, even though all the pressure was on her, for she was the firstborn. But anyway, that left a lot of pressure on me to be kind of the good boy, to become the balancing force in our family, and I played that role fairly well. So the first kind of phase of my relationship with my mom was just kind of being a good boy all around. And then the second phase of my relationship with her is like me as an adult, suffering a lot in life, and then talking with my coach, and then kind of realizing how much of an influence my mom had over me because of the my upbringing. Right, I had a very close relationship with my mom because of the aforementioned reasons, and that has led to basically me being kind of a proxy for my how my mom wants to live, I don't know, her son's life. And the more I realized, like literally every part of my life was just kind of by my mom's designs, the more it was just kind of like freaky, right? It really creeped me out. Like, holy fucking shit! All this time I thought I was living for myself, but no, I was just living as like a ghost of my mom, and I really, really have come to hate that feeling. And at around that time, I spent a few years just kind of like trying to untether myself from my mom, trying to be whatever kind of a human I can be. But you know, since I started engaging with more and more Buddhism, I have entered kind of the third phase of my life, which is just, you know what? I'm an adult. I can decide how to live my life, right? And no matter what happened in my life, because I'm an adult, I can pick up the skill of dealing with my life. So, my life is my responsibility, and guess who I have to thank for that? It's my mom. So, was she the perfect mom who did like all the upbringing perfectly? Probably not. But if I had gotten a different upbringing, while not knowing all the things that I know now, guess what's very likely to happen? The same kind of complaints. Oh, I wish my mom was more this. So, unless I have this some kind of a uncanny skill to transfer my knowledge across parallel dimensions, the version of my mom that I got is the version of my mom that I got, right? Okay, and yeah, a lot of control, a lot of emotional manipulation, depending on the way you see it, a lot of those things. But guess what? I'm an adult now. I can change everything about my upbringing, and my upbringing has nothing to do with my past, as long as I live my life looking at the future and looking at the present, right? And so, yeah, the upbringing, it really doesn't matter if I blame it or not. So, I can blame my upbringing. I can, blame my parents for giving me a tough, start to life or whatever. I can do that, and I can still have a fun and fulfilling life. But then, what motivates me to go the extra mile? Why not just keep on hating my upbringing and just continue living life like that if I can be happy regardless of my upbringing? Well, that's when the sort of the nuance comes in, right? And let me open up Paint. So regardless of how my life started, right? And suppose in the spectrum of, if such a thing exists, like good, and the more down you go, the more bad it is, right? And suppose this is kind of what we're working with. Okay, regardless of how my life starts, in terms of upbringing, right? It all leads to kind of the one same point called adulthood. Why is this important? Why do I say that this all leads to the same thing? Theoretically, when I have a good upbringing, right, shouldn't I be having an adulthood that starts here to correlate with this? When I have a bad upbringing, shouldn't I start out with this? Well, the thing is, when you are an adult, right, you have to learn how to deal with the world by yourself without the help of your parents and educational systems and so on. You're responsible for your life, right? Okay, so suppose you're rich. And suppose you had basically a lot of things handed to you in life. This means that will come with its own set of problems, right? So for example, good may be good because of money, but bad, it might be also bad because why? You have low capacity for challenges in your life. Because you've never really been truly challenged in your life, right? You don't know what poverty feels like. You don't know what it feels like to potentially not be able to pay for lunch food, and you don't know what it feels like to go to McDonald's and try to worry about what you can afford today. At the same time, when you are in the kind of the bad spectrum, right? What's bad is that you don't have a lot of money. I'm just using money as a global example. But what's also good is you have a different standard for life, right? You can find the joy in simpler things. Hey, I always have a cheeseburger, but today I get a Big Mac. Holy fucking shit, my life is great. And regardless of what point you start at in your life, adulthood, you always start out with some set of relative advantages and some set of relative disadvantages, right? Okay, then this is sort of the global case for literally everybody. Then, if we are going to end up in the same kind of adulthood regardless of all the, upbringing, why is it important to be thankful for our upbringing instead of blaming it? Here's the thing. Now, let's look at the kind of the relationship with life, right? There's a person here, and there's a person here, and I am forced to be in the same room as this person. So, this is me, and this is what? Now, what kind of an experience I will have in this hypothetical room depends a lot, of course, on me, but also depends a lot on this person. So if this person is a friend, right, then I can have a good time. It's comfortable. If this person is my boss, then it's kind of an uncomfortable situation, right? To be with your boss in the same room for a prolonged amount of time. If I am in this room together with my lover, kind of a great time, right? Having a all room to yourself. Get a room, literally, right? Okay, so the thing is, this person doesn't actually exist as an inherent form of a friend, doesn't exist as an inherent form of a boss, doesn't exist as an inherent form of whatever, right? I can think of my boss as a friend, right? Because sometimes your bosses generally can be friends depending on the relationship that you have, but the person themselves didn't really change, right? So that's sort of the importance of the perspective when it comes to other people, dealing with other people. So a lot of people have problems with transactional relationships, right? Okay, so this person I thought was my friend, but I have expectations that friends should be able to do XYZ for each other, but this guy didn't. So therefore, I don't see this person as a friend. This person was just kind of in it for the transactions. They only wanted something out of me. So now the perspective has changed. So now this person, even though they're staying the same, your experience with this person changed. So think of this. Inside this chamber of your life, right? You have these static figures in your life. And these people are kind of always going to be bound in your life because why? They are your parents. You emerged from them. But when you blame them, right? You implicitly become a descendant of someone you blame. And therefore, that automatically or transitively makes you a person blameworthy, right? Because you will have traits of your parents. But without changing your parents at all, if you have gratitude for your parents, you suddenly become the descendant of someone who you're so thankful for, right? And that gives you a different appreciation for life. And, of course, depending on your life circumstances, it's completely fine to harbor resentment for your parents. It's completely fine to not be on speaking terms with your parents. But, in the end, if you are watching this video and you're an adult, they somehow gave you that capacity to be in charge of your own life. And that, we can have other feelings for your parents, but that, I think, warrants some gratitude. And this is something that I talk about a lot in my videos. And today I wrote this really long essay about how, from my mom's perspective, what raising me would have been like. And after writing that, I had a phone call with my mom today, because my mom and dad called me to wish me a happy birthday. And I talked a little bit about the things that I've spoken to you about just now, right? And one of my and then she said one thing that she regrets is basically coddling me too much, right? Because that has made me more risk averse, and that has made me seek comfort a lot. And I complained about that a lot to my mom. So she was feeling bad about that. But one thing she also told me today, and I didn't know this at the time, but she told me that when I was in kindergarten, I would have rough days. I would have these days where I come home and I was just feeling really, really down. And my mom, over time, got a generalization that, hey, he tends to feel like this on the day the kindergarten has hiking days. And I was a very introverted and very not active kid, so I had a tough time during those days. And my mom sensed something else. My mom's a very sensitive person, and so she sensed a lot of that similarity in me too. She saw that I tended to be a sensitive child. And from her experience, when sensitive children are forced to be in situations they don't like over and over, it turns into kind of a wound. It turns kind of a traumatic thing in your heart. And my mom at the time made the decision to not hurt her child. And so that is the decision process she used in order to coddle me in some way, right? And that I didn't know about until today. So it's important when you're thinking of other people to understand that you most likely don't have the complete picture on why people act a certain way. And so experiences like this really make me glad I harbor positive feelings for people, because I don't have a ton of experience in this, but I do have some very, very big moments where I regret a lot about rushing to a negative decision about a person too quickly. And that has come to bite my ass super hard. A few times. Enough times for me to regret it super hard. And so, with all of that, on my birthday, I hope to have given you a perspective about my mom and also your mom, and how you could benefit from having gratitude